Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our session. Happy International Education Week. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Marwa Shille, and I am the Education USA Advising Assistant based at the Amid East office in Ramallah. And before we begin today's presentation with our guest speakers, I would like to hand it over to my colleague, Ali Teachman from the Palestinian Affairs Unit. Ali?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. All right, I'm sorry everyone, apologize. My name is Eli Teichman. I work at the Palestinian Affairs Unit at the US government here in Jerusalem, and just wanted to very briefly say welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us and for your interest in studying in the United States, promoting educational exchange between Americans and Palestinians, and promoting the opportunity for Palestinians to study in the United States is one of our top priorities at the US State Department, and we are thrilled to be working with our colleagues at Amid East, especially Marwa and Sena, who've put together a wonderful program this evening with Study California. And so I know you want to hear from our representatives from these wonderful universities, and so I will stop here and turn it back over to Marwa so we can get to the main event, which is learning about the wonderful opportunities available to study in the state of California. So thank you, Marwa, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Ali. And I just want to mention very quickly that in addition to today's session, we will have also several sessions until the end of the month, as you can see on the screen, and you can see the full schedule with details about each session on our Facebook page, and also we will share more information at the end of today's session. As Ali have mentioned, today's session will be with our guest speakers from different universities from California, and they will talk about the graduate study in the US. But before that, let me briefly talk to you about Education USA and our services. So Education USA is a US Department of State network of over 430 advising centers in 175 countries and territories around the world. Of course, we work closely with students, parents, high school counselors, teachers, and US university representatives to promote the US higher education around the world. Our services are for free, and we usually have, in-center sessions, group information sessions, maybe special topic sessions, individual consultations, and much more. We also have, outreach sessions where we visit and meet high school students, university students, and we also work closely with our colleagues at different American spaces. Of course, we communicate and work with our colleagues at different US higher education institutions, and so we facilitate their visits whenever they come to our country, and they like to meet students just like you who are interested in applying to their respective universities. Because of the global pandemic, we have been working 100% virtually since March of last year. And so we have been communicating and connecting with everyone through virtual sessions and webinars. The Education USA website should be your first stop if you would like to learn more about the US higher education system and the application process. You will find so much information on educationusa.state.gov, specifically about the 5 steps to US study. The 5 steps to US study is your guide, whether you want to pursue a short-term degree program or a full academic program. The first step is to research your options. The second one is to finance your studies. The third step is to complete your application. The fourth step is to apply for a student visa. And the fifth and final step is to prepare for your departure. And you will find so many information in details with resources, websites, and links on our Education USA website. And now I will hand it over to my colleague, Sana Tayem, so she can give you a brief overview about the graduate application requirements. Sana?
Thank you, Marwa. Thank you, Ellie, and welcome everyone, and welcome to our special guest from California. Good morning to all of you from California. Just a quick overview of the general application requirements before we get started. And I'm sure that our colleagues from UC Davis and UC Riverside will touch upon some of these components our colleague from UC Davis will specifically focus on the statement of purpose, but this is just a quick overview of the general application requirements that many U.S. higher education institutions will ask potential applicants to submit, and just to have that as in front of you as an overview. And next slide, please. And definitely we will delve further into the various components through our other sessions that we organize throughout the year, whether it's the Education USA West Bank or Education USA Gaza. We offer special sessions on topics relevant to US study, including graduate study, obviously, and all of its components, and helping potential applicants learn about the research process and how to apply and submit a successful application to US higher education institutions. And so this is our contact information for West Bank and for Gaza. And we also have the contact information for the U.S. Palestinian Affairs Unit, also for you to review and to also follow our pages so that you are also aware of the various opportunities that are announced through our various social media platforms, especially study and exchange opportunities offered by the U.S. Embassy's Palestinian Affairs Unit. And now I will hand it over to our colleagues from UC Davis and UC Riverside, and we will begin with our colleague Samudra from UC Davis. Welcome, Samudra.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for this invitation, and I'm really honored to be here. And thanks, Marwa and Sana, and I'm honored to present with our colleagues with UC Riverside. So right now, I'm going to talk about how to write your personal statement, or you would say statement of purpose. Pretty much all the graduate programs in the US that they ask for whether you are applying for a master's degree or a PhD, they require you to submit your personal statement. I actually work for UC Davis School of Law, and our LLM application, which is the master's degree application, we do require students to submit a personal statement. So I'll be giving today some tips, and my goal at the end of this presentation that you will have some type of outline or a draft that are ready for you to work on next few weeks or whenever you're ready to submit. So if you have a sheet of paper or like a Word document blank, you can kind of take some notes or like start the framework with me today. So next. So this workshop, that's why I call it workshop versus a presentation. You will be working with me right now. So we will talk about what is the personal statement and why we will be writing and how to write in the next 10 to 20 minutes of this workshop, quick workshop. Next, please. Okay, you can go ahead and open all the bullets. So what is your personal statement? This is an essential component of your LLM application, a written statement, a story. This is your story. This is not your parent's story or your professor's story. This has to be your own story. A picture as you a person, a student, a professional, and a budding scholar, that you're telling the story to the admission committee. Since personal statements are personal, there's no single style or a structure to follow. I get this question all the time from students. Students will say, oh, is there like a template I can follow? But I always tell students, like in this workshop, we'll learn tips and kind of I can give you an outline, but it's your personal statement. So you should be able to personalize. Next. Next slide. Yeah, you can open all. So the personal statement, and I know that some universities or graduate schools may do have interviews, but some may don't. So we consider at least UC Davis School of Law for our LLM that we consider this is your interview. So this is think about, this is an invitation from the admissions committee to get to know you. And also this, you can demonstrate your writing ability in this personal statement. So this is your opportunity to shine. So some cultures that bragging may be not a good thing, but I will give you complete permission for you to brag in this writing personal statement. It is okay because this is your personal statement. This is your opportunity for you to brag and shine. Obviously, the being honest and the things you have done, but this is since you don't have maybe another opportunity. I always tell the students, like, please write, don't hold anything back. Next, please. So let's talk about how to write a stellar personal statement. Next. So I was actually talking to our Associate Dean, Dr. Beth Greenwood. She has been with UC Davis School of Law for like more than 30 years. And when I was putting together this presentation like a year ago, I actually interviewed her. I was like, I want to really want to make sure somebody that who have read thousands of personal statements, I wanted to get her insight. So she said, your personal statement should include your personal, academic, and professional background. So think about, these are the three things: personal, academic, and professional. So if you have a piece of paper, write those three things: personal, academic, and professional. So these are almost, you have like already you have 3 topics. So these will be developing into 3 different paragraphs. So that's kind of the idea behind this workshop. I'll just kind of talk about the major topics and then kind of subtopics. So right now you have personal, academic, and professional, and I'll be helping you to give some more tips and developing these 3 paragraphs. Next. So when you are focusing on these 3 areas, think about your past, present, and future. So underneath each personal, academic, and professional, please go ahead and put past, present, and future, each of those major topics. So this expands into 9 different paragraphs right now, right? So, but you may not have each area, like your personal area, you may have something to say about past and present, and then you may not know future. That's okay. There's no expectation that you have to develop all these 9 paragraphs, but it is possible if you want to, but I'm just kind of giving you some kind of structure. Like academic, your past experience, like you are current a law student, for example, because I'm coming from a law school, so I may just use the word law, but this is applicable for like all the graduate students when they think about the personal statement. So think about academic. If you're a current undergraduate student, that you can talk about, if you're a senior, you can talk about last few years of your academic journey, which is like a past. And then present, you can talk about you are pursuing in your undergraduate degree and you're a senior. But then if you know the future, which is you're ready to apply for a graduate program, so you can talk about, I want to apply for a master's degree in law because, well, what is the reason? So in academic, you can write all those 3 categories, but the professional, for example, if you're a recent graduate or graduating senior, that you may not be able to talk about much about all 3 categories, past, present, future, a professional. But if you're a working professional, you may have all these 3 areas that you can elaborate. So hope you got the point. So next, please. So the personal background, let's kind of talk about some tips. Go ahead. So in here, any relevant personal history, like I'm talking this for the students who's planning to apply for a law master's degree, but you can apply that if you wanted to apply for an MBA or a microbiology, for example. Is there any personal history, a story that you can tell? Remember, we talked about earlier, this is kind of all about like storytelling and what inspired you to go into law. So you can just think about either law or if you wanted to do MBA, what inspired you? Is it your family? Is it your a professor inspired you? And any specific person, like any specific course you took as an undergraduate students influence you? And your personal qualities that if you wanted to apply for an engineering program, a master's program, are there specific skill set you have? Or qualities? And in law, do you have communication skills, negotiation skills? And then in this section, you can talk about your personal goals, why you wanted to pursue a master's degree, why you wanted to do a PhD. So under that personal background section, try to answer, so there's these 5 questions, but try to answer at least like 3 to 4 questions, and then you can develop that your paragraph of personal background. Next. Okay, let's talk about academic background. Next, please. Okay, so this is where you're talking about your educational backgrounds because you wanted to impress or you want to tell your story to the admission committee. So if there's anything significant you would like to highlight, like your GPA, your class ranking, percentage, did you graduated with honors? So those are the things that that you can elaborate on, or are you a top of the class? So in this section, I always tell my students that the admission committee do have your transcripts. They have grade sheets. They have everything, your diploma, certificate copies, and they have everything. So you wanted to tell like an additional story. Even though they may see your GPA, they may not know the story behind it. For example, you were the top of the class or top 5% of the class or top 10%. When looking at the transcript, the admission committee may not be able to tell that right away. So it's your job, if there's anything really good, like any of these things to elaborate on, this is your opportunity. Next, please. And again, I wanted to mention class ranking, percentage, maybe all of them may not relevant to you, but maybe like your university give like a ranking and a percentage, or you just get like a honors code or like some kind of prestigious title. So it's just related to your university or the country, but I'm just kind of giving you like a kind of general a tip. But the academic background, it's not all positive talking, but also if you have a low GPA, this is the place for you to explain why. Explain your university's grading standards if necessary. Many students tell me that, oh, my university, the grading is very, very rigorous. I only get like 60%, which is in the US like a D. How can I even think about applying for a graduate school? So I always tell the students, please explain that in your personal statement. Don't miss this opportunity. Tell that just like you verbally explaining to me, tell that in your a personal statement that how rigorous your grading scale and how hard to get this 60%, and you're still top of the class, even like top 10%. So whatever your story. But again, our admission committees, that they have seen it's not just your application from your school. They have seen several applications over the years coming from your university. So they can put kind of story together as long as you kind of talked about it in your or the personal statement. And if you have done poorly in your first year or any other semester, please explain why. This happened to many of us, right? Like you may have life happens. Sometimes you do poorly your first year because you may have to move like thousands of miles away from your home country. You may have to cook your food, do your own laundry, and independently, first time you're living. So these things are hard to balance everything. So you can talk about, if that's the case, why your first year grades or one semester grade maybe not so good. You can explain. Or it doesn't have to be first year, even like your third year, fourth year, something happened, your grandma gets sick and you have to go and help with her health situation, whatever. These are the stories I'm hearing from the students. But again, if you have a truthful story, this is the personal statement is a place for you to talk about that. And also, I really like when students talk about how you have overcome challenges. That's kind of one of my things that make me inspire, that when students talk about how hard they have to leave their home country and everything, or home village or the city to pursue a degree. And then first year it was really hard, but then they were able to find study groups, learn study skills, things like that. And they were able to overcome challenges. Next, please. And professional background. I'll go through this really quickly. So at UC Davis, I can just give an example from my law school, our graduate program. We are trying to create a program with people from different backgrounds. So we welcome students from recent graduates, people have experience. So it's always good that when you're working with a graduate school, the department or the program, you talk to them and ask which type of students you're looking for. Are you really looking for people who have experience? Maybe some disciplines, some majors, that's what they're looking for. So that's something that but at our law school, we invite students who have experience, who recent graduates, and the kind of all type of students. So next, please. So if you're a recent graduate, that you may think that you may have not much to say on the professional background category, but these are some of the items that I'm listing. And even though you're not a law student, some of these items like internship, your discipline, have you done internship, research, and if you have done any community service or leadership activities, these are the things that you can elaborate on a professional background. So don't think about, oh, I don't have this much experience, I don't have anything to explain, but think about these categories. And also just don't say that I have done an internship. Don't just stop there. Please make sure that you elaborate which type of internship, duration of the internship, who supervised you, your internship, what was the internship outcomes, kind of elaborate in like a few sentences. Like research, if you have done some type of research, what was your research about? Did you do like this research project end up in like a conference, or did you publish? Which part of the publication you wrote, like is it the method session or the results, like what was your contribution? So make sure that you just don't say that I have done research. Elaborate in this personal statement, because remember, you are submitting, most of the graduate programs, you're submitting your resume. So the resume have those bullet points, but this is the opportunity for you to elaborate on. Next, please. And for working professionals, that you can elaborate that your experience as whatever the profession you're doing, and professional organizations, and talk about your examples of your success. So this is the opportunity. Not necessarily, you can talk about like internships, research that you have done while you were undergraduate student, but in here, like if you've done 5 or 10 years of working experience, just kind of think about that in this section, more talk about like your professional life. Next, please. So I just wanted to kind of talk about some other important topics. So you have at least have like 3 big paragraphs with some subtitles. So you have right now anywhere that if you kind of vision, maybe 6 to 8 paragraphs, but then you needed introduction and conclusion. So these are some of the questions I'm giving to you that think about how to write the introduction or the conclusion paragraphs. Your reason for applying for a master's program, in our case, like LLM, be specific. How the specific LLM program will benefit your future. So if you're thinking about sciences, how this specific master's program benefit your future. And why are you applying to like UC Riverside or UC Davis? What is the reason? So make sure that you highlight that. So I would advise you, if you are planning to apply to one of our schools or any other schools, just do your research and then write something that why you want to apply for this specific school. And also a conclusion sentence or the paragraph, talk about, convince the committee that why they should pick you out of, they may get hundreds of applications. So why they should pick you. Next, please. So some final tips. Next, please. So what you say and how you say it's important. Prioritize your thoughts, check your grammar, be professional, revise. It's really okay for you to ask your English professor or somebody you think that they are really good at this type of work, or writing center if you have one. Show this your personal statement and then get some help. Next, please. So this is Helen, this is our admission director, and she had a really short and sweet a statement. She always say, be authentic, write your personal statement, but be authentic. I thought I should just say that. Just don't be someone else because you're writing your own personal statement. So always be authentic. Next, please. And I want to give you these resources. All Purdue University have a great center, and they have a sample personal statements that you can read and get some ideas. And also, if you have, we have law students in the audience, that LLM guide have some personal statement samples and some tips. Next, please. So finally, I again thank you for Education USA, and thank you for all the participants. And if you like to connect with me specifically to talk about LLM program at University of California, Davis, I'll put in the chat box my email address. You can directly contact me and UC Davis School of Law. We are still taking applications for our spring 2021 and August, 2022 and August, the intake. We normally have 2 intakes, and we have about 30,000 students and about 500 law students. So thank you again. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's all my presentation. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Samudra. And now we will hand it over to our colleagues from University of California, Riverside.
Thank you. Thank you to our friends at Education USA, and thank you, Samudra, for your wonderful presentation. This is Jun Wang, and I'm the Assistant Provost at the University of California, Riverside, and it's my honor to welcome everyone to join our session today. and joining me to hear more about America's fastest rising university. Next, please. So I will talk a little bit more about the UC system and our campus, then I will hand it over to my colleague at the School of Business. And we will share a little bit more in depth about our scholarship as well as graduate program opportunities at the UC Riverside. So as a proud member of the UC system, UC family, UC Riverside is among the 10 campuses that offer the graduate programs. And we are one of the best and most glorious public research university system in the world. 10 UC campuses, each uniquely has its own advantages, it has its own spotlights, and UC Riverside was one of the 6 founded campus located in the beautiful Southern California inland region. And we have our roots in the agriculture, similar to our colleagues in Davis. We're very much started with agriculture, but today we're one of the most comprehensive graduate program university in the nation. Next, please. So we were founded in 1954, joining as the 6th campus in the UC system. Today, we grew to 26,000 students, including over 3,000 graduate students and 23,000 undergraduate students. But majority of our graduate students are actually PhD students with full fellowships offered. We also have over 125,000 alumni, and we were recently ranked as the fastest university in USA for many parameters, including our facilities, our growth rate in terms of faculty size, as well as our ranking by all different ranking agencies. Next, please. So UCI is located beautifully in the Southern California region. We're 1 hour away from the city of Los Angeles, Hollywood, Disneyland, Palm Springs. The beautiful Southern California beach line is all about 1 hour away from us. So you can actually reach the snow mountains and go skiing and snow surfing, and also you can go to the ocean within 1 hour. It's such an ideally located place, economically affordable, as well as very safe location for those of you traveling from abroad. Next. So UCI, as we mentioned earlier, we are very highly ranked in all different ranking agencies. If you look at the global university ranking of 150, in the global ranking, but we are 29 in the US and 21 among the US universities for the engineering ranking. So we're very highly ranked in engineering, and we're also one of the top 100 business schools in the nation, which my colleague Tamara will share a little bit more. And here you can see a little bit details of our different highlighted majors. Thank you. Next. As you can see, ranking is a big deal, and you want to come to the right place with a lot of opportunities. And one of our unique ranking that has been very consistent with all different ranking agencies is the best value. So UCI has been known for our affordability, the low cost on dormitories, low cost on the living costs, as well as the best job opportunities for graduates. So our graduates tends to get a little bit higher average salary, as well as a lot of job opportunities even before they graduate. So you come over here with the lowest amount of investment, but the highest return on investment in terms of job and career opportunities. Next. So currently we offer 42 doctoral PhD programs. So these are master and PhD combined, right? So you can apply right after your bachelor degree. And we also offer 55 master degree programs in 7 colleges. Next, please. So we have 7 disciplinary areas that including the Marlin and Rosemary Bones College of Engineering, the College of Humanity, Arts and Social Sciences, College of Nature and Agricultural Sciences. Next, please. School of Business, School of Medicine, School of Public Policy, and School of Education. So these 4 schools are professional schools that primarily offer the graduate programs, The other three I mentioned earlier is more comprehensive, including bachelor degree and PhD and master altogether. Next. So this is a different variety of graduate programs that we offer at UCR. So unlike our colleague from UC Davis, we do not have a law degree, but we do have medical, doctor, PhD, along with all sets of master degrees. So no matter what your choice is, in terms of engineering, business, PhD, research, or professional degrees, you can almost guarantee you can find something in the UC system. It's not at UCR, it's at UC Davis, or it's one of our UC campuses. And among our degree programs, most of our programs are STEM OPT certified, which means you can get up to 36 months of OPT as international students. As you can see, our graduates' average starting salary is around $72,000, and which is pretty high, looking at the national average. Next. Next, please. So we are one of the research universities, which means we heavily rely on research centers that are multidisciplinary research facilities, including many that are top in the world, many in the engineering areas, also agriculture and neuroscience and plant science and biology. And so you can see all these research centers are pretty diverse and usually incorporates many disciplinary areas, including 2 or 3 that are apart from each other. So you can have engineering and business combined into an entrepreneurship research center, or you can have biology and medicine into a industrial biotech or neuroscience research center. So upon these research centers, you can get a lot of hands-on opportunities with our faculty, as well as practical training for your professional studies. Next, please. Here's a building that we just finished recently. It's called a Multidisciplinary Research Building. It's the latest in the UC family. It's over $300 million investment. It's a cutting-edge facility to boost our research among different disciplinary areas. Next, please. So again, more pictures from our research centers, as you can see. Next. So we also work very closely with a lot of industry partners. So this is, again, how we get students jobs. So if you're coming from abroad and worry about getting jobs, you can rest assured that we will help our students by placing you at different corporations, research institutions, as well as universities for research, as well as internship opportunities, which will prepare you to get the edge on getting jobs from all these corporations. Next, please. So just briefly on our admission requirement, very similar to our colleagues, we require some basic criteria for admission. So the advantage is each UC campus has its centralized portal for application. So at UCR, you only have one portal, which is graduate.ucr.edu/apply. And the students can apply to any major in the graduate programs through this one link. And through the link is a step-by-step process. So you will be required to submit your own official transcript, your diploma if you already graduated, your test scores if you have taken GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, IELTS for English language. We at UC Riverside, we require 3 letters of recommendations for most of our graduate programs. And they can come either from your academic advisors, faculty, or your professional and work employers. We ask for both the statement of purpose and personal history and relevant experiences if you have working experience or other research or publications or research experiences. Our application fee may vary between the different programs, and some programs do waive application fees. So make sure you ask the programs before you apply as well. Next. So our financial aid is very generous. So our professional graduate programs, most of them are 1-year based, which means you can graduate the master programs in 1 year. And the cost is around $32,000. And the living expense, we usually suggest $15,000. but students say like 10,000 would do for 9 months of study at UC Riverside. So within 9 months, you can get your master's degree, within 1 year. That's very typical and very standard for most master programs, including some of the professional degrees like Master of Accountancy and Master of Finance. And most of our PhD programs, if not all of them, provide a full fellowship, which means we'll pay you entirely, completely for your study. And not just we pay your tuition, we'll also pay your living cost, your fellowship, as well as some stipend for you to live here and so and have a great time over here. So you will get a salary. It's almost like a job. So different programs may vary. From what I heard, students can get up to like $2,500 per month on top of their entire fees and health insurance and student activities fees. All of those will be paid off. So all PhD programs, you can apply right after bachelor and 100% paid off. Next, please. Next. So as I mentioned earlier, we work very actively with our colleagues in the Career Center. We do have a centralized Career Center with over 25 advisors, and we work with almost all Fortune 500 companies around the globe, as well as in the US, to place our students for jobs, internships, co-ops, and other job opportunities. We have almost daily, we have a job fair, either virtual or in person, on campus to help our students to find jobs. We also help students with softer skills like presentation, CV, and resume writing, as well as how to handshake and how to dress up. So this is a very robust and comprehensive service to help our graduate students to make sure they're successful in terms of job hunting. Next, please. So next, I'd like to welcome my colleagues from School of Business, along with a few beautiful students who will share their experience and our graduate programs at the School of Business. Thank you.
Thanks so much, June. So I am Tamara Johnson, and I am from the School of Business graduate programs. We do have several programs that you can choose from. Our MBA is a 2-year program, and our specialty masters are a Master of Finance, Master of Professional Accountancy, and Master of Science in Business Analytics, and they are all 1-year programs. We have approximately 589 students from 36 different countries, and every single one of our programs are STEM designated. Next, please. So let's talk very quickly about our MBA program. As a full-time program, this does require an internship. You're going to take everything you're learning and apply it into that internship. I love the fact that we offer either a capstone or a thesis. So again, you kind of get to choose how you're going to have your education progress throughout your 2 years. We have some career development courses. So this is really a 21-month program, 80 units, again, STEM designated. In the first year, you are taking 9 core business courses that set you up for a very strong business foundation. In that second year, you're able to choose one of your concentration from one of 6 different concentrations that we do offer. Next, please. Our MBA class profile looks like this. We are 46% female. I think that's amazing. 46% international. And we have an average GPA of 5.8, an average GMAT of a 629. Average work experience of 31 years. Now, I want to talk to you really quickly because these are averages. Do we accept people with lower? We absolutely do. What about higher? Of course we do. We are extremely diverse, not only in our ethnicity, but in also our undergraduate majors. I love the fact that this really brings so much diversity, so many different viewpoints to the classroom. It's going to give you a really good view of what your future career could look like. Next, please. Our application, you know what? I'm going to just go really quickly since we're running out of time. The Master of Finance, again, is a 9-month or 15-month program, really sets you up for that great finance career. Next, please. The Master of Professional Accountancy does require some prerequisites. However, if you don't have them, you can take them when you come. That's what's great about this particular program. Next, please. Our Master of Science in Business Analytics is brand new, and we're super excited. Has 3 different career tracks that you get to choose from. 2 capstone projects. How exciting is that? Next, please. Our application, as June said, is very, very easy. It is online. There's only a few things that are required. Our business priority deadline is coming up December 15th. Our round 2 is January 31st. I recommend trying to apply within one of those rounds because, next please, we have scholarships, and beginning of those rounds, we have more scholarships than the end of the rounds. So that's really important to get your application in sooner rather than later. Now, we happen to be one of those schools on our campus that does offer application fee waivers. And I would be happy to set up a one-on-one interview with you to be able to give that to you. So I'll put my contact information in the chat here soon. But we do offer good scholarships. And if you're an MBA student, you could also apply to be a TA in your second year. Next, please. This is contact information for all my colleagues here at the School of Business, but I want you to hone in on mine, take a picture of it, because I am the one you're going to want to do that one-on-one consultation with. That's the end of my presentation. I wanted to do it quickly because I have 2 students with me that are current graduate students that I think can give you that really great experience education kind of talk from their viewpoint. So I have Merve from Turkey, and I also have Leslie from the US. So we're going to start with Merve. She's going to really briefly talk about her own experience, and then we'll go directly to Leslie. Go ahead, Merve.
Yeah, hi everyone. I am a first-year MBA student here at UCR. So thanks to the compassion of the admission team, especially Tamara, she was the one who helped me get here, and the helpfulness of the professors and diversity of the school, I can honestly say I found my home away home here at UCR. And I have been offered a very generous scholarship during the admission. And as Tamara mentioned before, my fee was waived because I had a one-on-one with her. So I strongly recommend of those who are actually thinking about applying UCR, get on call with Tamara one-on-one. She will be the one who will be helping you the most. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Leslie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Leslie Aguilar. I'm currently a second-year MBA candidate here at UCR. While I didn't have a one-on-one with Tamara, I did talk to Patrick, and he did give me a fee waiver, so I didn't have to worry about my application fee. I also was granted MBA professional fee scholarship when I was accepted into the MBA program. And this really covered my professional fee associated with obtaining an MBA degree. I was also granted a teaching assistantship. So now that I'm a second year, I'm a TA for operations and production management here. And it is a great leadership opportunity to really engage with undergraduate students. I do want to touch a little bit about my internships with the Career Center. They really do help you perfect your resume, your cover letter, any interviewing tips that they might have. And with that, I did obtain 2 internships, one over the spring and now in the summer with both the Office of Technology Partnerships here at UCR and FedEx Ground. And the Career Center is really there to help you and facilitate you throughout your process if you're trying to find an internship or a full-time position. So I really have enjoyed my time here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Merve and Leslie. You know, this is great because you now, as we're going into this Q&A, get to actually, you can ask questions of them. And, you know, they can talk to you about that student perspective that I can't talk to you about. But thank you so much. I did put my contact information in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me. I love meeting with people and prospective students, and I'd love the opportunity to meet with you as well. I'd like to also thank Education USA for this incredible opportunity that you have given us at UCR to be a part of today. So that is all for UCR. So I'll hand it back to Education USA.
Thank you so much to all of our presenters today. We really appreciate all of the information that you have shared with our audience and also answering the questions through the Zoom chat box. we received an amazing question, which is, what kind of formal and informal support network exists for graduate students at your universities? And maybe Leslie and Merv can also talk about their experience and the support that they have received from UC Riverside.
Absolutely, I can start. There are two amazing groups at UCR, AGSM, especially the School of Business. One of them is Student Association and the other is Graduate Ambassadors, which I am part of both. And it's been an amazing journey because this is just my first quarter, but you get to interact with second years, you get to know your cohort, and obviously second years had already been through their summer internships. So they help you get through all these processes because we're all international students here. And I know it's sometimes intimidating even thinking about it, but I was one of the priority round applicants and I really wanted to be here. And being part of these two groups, I have been meeting a lot of people and I've been working so much relationship, and I had experienced a real great networking. And there are also so many events taking place in UCR, especially formed by student ambassadors are offered for all the ambassadors, but for the student association, it's all for the cohort. So you will be able to, even if you don't join in these groups, you will still be able to participate in most of the events. Thank you.
To add on to that, I am part of the ambassadors team here with the Graduate School of Business. And I think it's a great experience to not only network with your peers, they do have very different, perspectives. I'm not an international student, but getting to know other students here has been a really great experience. I guess more formally would be any networking teams events that we do hold for graduate students. We also have career fairs, like mentioned earlier before, where you can really attend and really try to connect with future employees. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Samudra, you'd like to add anything?
No, I think they covered pretty much. Yeah, there are tons of opportunities, and this is not just going to the lectures or classroom. Just try to get the full experience. That's kind of my recommendation. There's tons of during lunchtime, there's networking opportunities, and it just plan to be there like all day at the university. There's so much, and plus there's a lot of free food too. So well, there's a lot of activities. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tamra.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that there are two questions about exam waivers. Can someone touch upon that with relevance to the English proficiency and possibly GRE or GMAT? So anyone would like to share your insight on that?
Maybe I can say really quickly. So for most of our master programs, due to COVID, that we have already waived our GRE and GMAT requirements. Although for most of the PhD programs, we still take it GRE into consideration. So if you have the score, you can submit it. But if you don't have it, you can ask for waiver as well. And again, it's very individual program based. So make sure you ask your program, contact the program graduate advisor directly about the exceptions. And I can speak from almost all of our master programs in that regard. And talking about the TOEFL and IELTS and other English language, it's really case by case because every student come from different language environment, whether your undergraduate was taught in English or partially in English, we will take those into consideration, which means we can and we will be able to waive the language requirements, depends on your background. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, I echo the same. I think it's most important that you try to work with your individual department or the program and contact the program director or the program coordinator and just try to work with and explain your situation, like what's going on.
Thank you. I think we may have time for one or two questions. If I receive an assistantship, do I need to maintain a good academic record or other obligations? So if anyone can share their insight on internships and potential OPT programs, CBT programs available at your institutions.
So for UCR, we require you to maintain 3.0 GPA throughout your studies to hold on to all of the offerings that we have given to you at the beginning. So if you fail out of 3.0, you will be put into probation and you may lose the privilege of receiving the continuation of those scholarships and assistantships. So please keep those in mind.
Thank you. I think we have covered all of the questions, if I'm not mistaken, Marwa. And I'd like to share our upcoming events. Marwa, would you like to kind of give a brief overview of our upcoming events commemorating International Education Week?
Yes, definitely. So we will have several events this week, also next week, and until the end of this month. And so tomorrow we will have a chance to talk to Palestinian alumni of different US government-sponsored programs like the Tech Girls, the Yes U Grad, and Tech Women. We will also have another session specifically for the Fulbright programs also this Thursday. We will also have 2 visa sessions about the student visa application process. The first one will be this Friday on November 19th, and the second one will be next week on Tuesday, November 23rd. Also, an amazing session that we will have next Sunday is with a group of Palestinian students who are either currently studying in the United States or graduated. And so you'll have a chance to learn more about the programs that they have pursued and their experiences. We will also have a session specifically for high school students, so you can learn more about different program opportunities like the Education USA Academy and also Education USA Academy Connects. And we will also have another session with 2 university and college representatives on the 2+2 model on November 29th. And you can see all of the details for each session on our Facebook page, Education USA West Bank, and you'll also find the Zoom links on our Facebook page. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions or if you'd like to schedule any individual consultations. We have shared our contact information in the chat box. We will be happy to help you. Have a great evening or the rest of your day. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Marwa.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sana. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.